Hello and bonjour and welcome to Maisha France. My name is Maggie. The first time I saw my guest was on social media, and I want to start by thanking my guest for accepting this interview. This story really touched me, and I felt the need to share it with you. Hello, please introduce yourself and also tell us where you come from.
I'm Levi Bracing, born as an intersex, but I was born as Betty. The name Levi Bracing, I've just come to get it recently. Levi was born in Kenya, in Meru County, and I grew up as a girl. Growing up was not as simple. When I reached the adolescent stage, which that is where the features come to, like they just out, they are just seen. That is where it came to a point that I came to realize that I was not a girl as the way I used to think I was. And so, because I hadn't reached the adolescent stage, which the features of a man came to come out clearly. That is why I came to know that and realize that I am more of a man.
You mentioned intersex. Would you mind telling us what you mean by intersex?
Simply for you to be considered as an intersex, it simply means that you were born both, with both genitalias. Though they usually say that intersex are more than 47, but for those types that have been known, we usually say that intersex are 47 types. But in short, it means that you have both genitalias, the male and the female organ. In our country, Kenya, we are in a country where people have not come in good terms, or people have not understood what really intersex is. So they're still taking us as bad women, they're still taking us cast, they are still taking us as outcast, year out, because they really don't know who we are. So people have no knowledge of who we are up to today. They are just a few of the Africans who have come up with the reality of who we intersex are.
And how was your school life?
Let me say, in school, in primary school, it was a bit good because no one who knew about me, and the female pictures are not starting to show up. But in high school, it was hell, because people had started to realize that there is something different with me, and some male pictures, they couldn't be seen clearly on me. So it was hell, and I don't know how to explain it, but it was hell, Intersex passed through sexual harassment. I myself have passed through that, I remember when I was young, there were these two ladies, and they were using me to satisfy themselves sexually without my knowledge. And that thing kept on haunting me. You are young, seeing a body of a full-grown woman when you are young, it's a bit scary. So that thing kept on haunting me. I've just come to heal it after I went for counseling. That is when I healed completely about it, because they were sisters, and they could call me, pressurize themselves with me, and they are like, don't dare tell anybody. If you do, we will kill you. So I was like, oh Jesus. And that thing kept on haunting me. I was all alone in my own world, which not me alone. Very many intersex face that. Last year but one, we were burying one of our friends who was taken to a girls' school, and the girls came to know that she was an intersex, and so they were trying to use her to satisfy themselves because it was a boarding school. And by that, the girl got into depression, and finally killed herself. So mostly, and when you listen to very many intersex children, mostly what they usually say, what they usually share about is, they face sexual harassment.
You said people started to realize that there was something different in you. And how about your family?
Okay, let me first say I'm a product of a single mom, and my relationship with my mom and my entire family was not good at all. Since getting an intersex kid is always considered as a bad omen or a curse. So they really treated me on a different perspective. They didn't treat me like a normal kid. So it was my relationship with every one of our family. Honestly speaking, it was hell out of earth, yeah. From age 1 to around age 18, I was still dressing like a girl. I was raised as a girl called Beatrice Wawira. That is what my ID links, my birth certificate links, and every document, every official document that I have up to today, it links Beatrice. Though I am in the process of changing the name to Levi now, the name that people know.
Then you finally came out. How was it?
Coming out as an intersex is not just a simple thing. One thing is that because people don't understand us, they tend to even, mistreat you. Particularly I myself, when I came out, people are like, they want to know. We, like as I said earlier, we are in a country that people don't really understand who we are. So the moment people hear about intersex, they are like, I want to see this person. I want to see those both organs that she is speaking about. So we are in a place that people will try to rape you. I've gone through that. People trying to to strip me naked to see. I've gone through rape. Many challenges when you come out as an intersex. People trying to, because people are trying to understand and venture in to know who you are. Yeah. You even go to report your case in a police station, and the police is like, I want to first see that you are an intersex so they can help you. Really now? So those are the things and the hell that we are passing out here. Yeah. Me being an intersex, my mom threw me out. I remember that day. It was around 11 when she came in the house and threw me out. So I had no place to go. But and that is when depression started now. You throwing me out because I'm an intersex. It was hell. But I got a friend of mine who is by the name Dolores Omaro. I like mentioning her so much in interviews, who took me to counseling, which I really depend a lot. So after the counseling, I went and met the other intersex in our office in a lobby that is in Jinsiangu. And after meeting them, so I was like, oh, so Lev, you are not alone. And there, the healing process started. And I healed totally and completely.
And why did you accept this interview?
One thing is to why I accepted the interview. It is because I want to create awareness. And not only in Kenya. You see, so I want to create awareness. I want to make people understand who intersex are. I want to make the intersex kid move freely in our country, Kenya. Get jobs freely. Get education very well with no corruption, with no stress. Because as for me, I was in a school where people didn't understand who I am. I was in a school where I scored a D-, not because I was foolish, no. Just because I didn't get a person to help me understand that I have a bright future. So I want to help these kids understand that they have a very bright future ahead. So they get serious, they learn because they don't know their tomorrow. So I want to stand for this intersex child very, very much, who has no say of his or her own. And I want to help people understand us more.
Please take us through from Betty to Levi.
The procedures of being a man you have to first go to the hospital where your hormone will, or the hormone will be determined, the hormone that is high. You have to also go for, like, there are a lot of tests that you're supposed to go. The test of even seeing if you have maybe the womb, you know, you have maybe the testicles inside you. Like, there are a lot to be done. When you undergo that test, then there is the hormone, that is the testosterone. Yes, it is introduced into your body, and now you become a man. By surgery, it is your choice to either take the surgery of remaining a pure man, like you are a man, or you can take the hormones but you don't take the surgery. So it's on your own. So you can take the hormone but you don't take the surgery. You remain a man but you've not taken the surgery, which is the route that I think, which is the route I feel better. Yeah. One thing I've talked about, taking the hormones and, you know, not interfering with the part, with the genitals. Why am I talking about taking the hormones and not interfering with the genitals? Our medic, most of the medic are not qualified. So you might take the surgery and it come to bring some other problems into your body because maybe it was not done correctly. So you just get it, you just find, like, you've just undergone the transition, and you are a man, you have the testicles, they have taken away your female part, and now boom, you just start getting some other problems. So that is why mostly we encourage get the medication itself, but don't tamper with the genitals. The other thing, the surgery itself is very, very expensive. It's very expensive. A lot of millions of money for you to undergo it. And I'm very sure that when I tried to do a research, the best one cannot be done in Kenya. It's either in India or in UK, those places, but not in Kenya. And it is very, very, very expensive. Yeah.
Do you feel like the Kenyan government has taken measures towards your consideration?
Honestly speaking, there is no place we have been considered by the government. We are still living a normal life that a person can live. And that is what I personally, and maybe my team, we are trying to fight and see where can government venture in. For example, I got to Form 4. Me scoring a D-, not because I was foolish. I was very clever, in fact. But now, look at it. There was nobody to come and tell me, Levi, you can be a greater person. Don't just look at the part of you being an intersex. You can be a greater person. So when you look at the government, we need to, there is no place they have come and ventured in, which we are trying to see, like, in education they are ventured in jobs they are ventured in. Because, like, even if I go to find a job, I won't get anybody giving me a job just because this person saw me in an interview, you see? So we are trying to, reach the government to come and help us. In parliament, if you look at the parliament structure, there is no place an intersex is, praised in that parliament. Yet if you go like the albinos, they have their representative over there. But for us intersex, there is no representative who is in that parliament for us. So government has not considered us anywhere.
You outlined some of the challenges that you have faced. Do you have some requests from the Kenyan government and our community at large?
There's something I've been thinking of personally, I myself. The government, let this thing start from the school. I know it might be hard to say the Kenyan government to introduce the intersex education in schools. It is hard. But when I was growing up, in school, I saw the government bringing peer educators to talk about, HIV and AIDS, the STIs, girls don't sleep with men annually, blah, blah, the kind of things. What if they take an intersex person, introduce him to the Kenyan schools? We are a lot. We are many here. Introduce us to the schools. Let us talk to them about the intersex, because particularly if me, myself, I could reach to a point where I got an intersex person talking to me when I was in school, I could not feel outdated the way I felt outdated in schools. I could not fight depression the way I was fighting depression in school. So we are trying to, we are requesting them to introduce us to the system. I know, speaking of introducing the entire intersex education to the curriculum, it might be, and it may take time. But what about taking us to those schools to talk about the intersex education? What about having offices which are government funded? Levy, you have your office in Nairobi, you have your office in Nairobi. Levy, you have your office in Meru, where these intersex children can come to their rescue. Because I myself, for example me, I was raised in Meru. I've just come to know that there are other intersex peoples when I came in Nairobi. And it is just one. In the entire of Kenya, it is just 2 offices, and they're in Nairobi. That is the LPCK and the Jinsi Yangu, they're in Nairobi, and they are not government funded. They are in Nairobi. So what if they venture into those offices and help them introduce very many other offices where the intersex children can lash to? So that is our request. Let them introduce us to the schools. Let us talk to schools about intersex the way we can.
So what do you do for a living?
I came in Nairobi where I've been hustling, and it has not been easy, because you even go and tell a person, hey, give me a job of even washing your clothes, and she's like, you look like a man, what is wrong with you? But looking a man is not what I want here. You even go to, I was employed as a house help, and after the woman knew that the woman who had employed me knew that I was an intersex, she was like, you cannot continue staying with my girls and you are an intersex. So I was like, staying with your girls, and I can do the job very well. So it has been hard, fighting it, and we have been trying. So we have been fighting it. Intersex have been sleeping hungry. I myself, I do sometimes even sleep hungry. My house rent is a problem because, I have nothing that I can do. Nobody can give me a job. So it's you by yourself. Think of what you can do. Employ yourself. Because when you stay there and start speaking about getting employed, I don't know what is wrong with Africans. You won't get employed. So you have to think of what you can do, and that is what we are encouraging intersex when we meet. Get to know what can you do. So I was thinking of deep frying chicken and selling it to people, because it is something I've been employed by somebody. I've done in a hotel. I know how to do it. I know how to marinate and prepare it to a nice chicken. So I thought of starting it, which does not even require a lot. With as low as 25,000, you can start it.
Anything else you'd like to add that we probably didn't touch on?
One thing I want to tell people, and the thing that I usually finish by telling people is that appreciate us. We are human beings like you. There is no any difference between me and you. There is nothing, totally nothing different. I'm just a normal person like you. And I need your love, I need your job, I need everything. Let us approach it, each one of us, and love each one of us and help this intersex child. If you know of any one of them, just help them to grow to who they are. Yeah.
Thank you, Levi. Wishing you all the best. That was Levi with his story full of encouragement and determination. And there are so many other Levis. He has shared his contacts in case you'd like to get in touch with him, and especially so for the parents who have children going through the same situation like he was when he was growing up. Please do so with a lot of respect. This is Maisha France. Kindly share, comment, subscribe. Till next time, I will end this video with Levi's words, "We are all human beings."